Hi Virgo, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you your money and career tarot reading for the month of June 2021. When meditating on your energy, of course I felt very calm, grounded, and relaxed, but the message that came through was succeeding beyond all expectations. Succeeding beyond all expectations. So we're going to keep it simple and pull 6 tarot cards for the month. So let's do some shuffling. For our lovely calm Virgos for money and career for the month of June 2021. We got 1. Keep them coming for Virgo. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I'm just going to go with that one. What else do we have? They're coming out nice and smooth. Second half of the month for our lovely calm Virgos. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, interesting. And we have 2 remaining, which I'm being informed we're going to keep shuffling for. What else do we have for Virgo to wrap up the month? For money and career. And interesting. Well, they don't want this one. They do? All right. Very interesting energy. Matching how I was feeling in the beginning. So we have the 4 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Similar to some of the fire signs, there's an underlining focus throughout the month on your need to have a bit of control on how things unravel. You feeling like at times, as you could just see, your mind goes blank. You wanting to control how things unravel, but for whatever reason, you are stopping yourself. You don't even need the reminder from Spirit and the universe to take a moment to stop. You intuitively knowing that your grip needs to loosen a bit to allow for things to unravel, just as they're meant to, all right? And so we're beginning the month in the spread with the Queen of Cups. You begin the month of June feeling the need to surrender, just as we were talking about, feeling inclined intuitively and pushed by yourself to put your hands up, as you can see in the imagery, to surrender to the process along the way, even if at times your job or your career choice frustrates you to the point where you just don't know what to do. And Spirit's saying you intuitively know that you're going to be successful and you're going to exceed expectations from those around you, but the need to surrender, the feeling that comes over you is accurate, and you'll instantaneously see that as you allow for things to unravel as they're meant to, while still putting forth the necessary effort. It starts to bring you the desired results. It may not all happen, of course, at the beginning of the month, but you'll see it start to happen slowly but surely as the month progresses. This calm, content, grounded feeling takes over, even if things felt a bit flustered towards the end of May. Remembering that your vibe, your energy, your grounded earth energy is so contagious, and those around you will feel more inclined to do just as you are, to surrender, to be one with the process, to stay calm and cool and collected as things unravel. And we're making our way to the 3 of Cups. I'm also hearing don't question what's meant to be. You at times feel the need to question your own level of success that you deserve, but at the end of the day, if need be, Spirit and the universe will step in to remind you that you deserve all that's to come, and it's a lot of positive success. So the 3 of Cups. You make your way to the middle of the first half of the month, and there's a huge focus on certain connections in your life. For some of you, you connecting more so with certain coworkers or people that you are surrounded with in your work environment. For those of you who don't feel that's going to be the case, you end up being pushed and guided or feeling inclined to bond with certain people outside of your work environment as a release or as a way to balance out the areas of your life. to feel less weighed down or feel less like your workload is taking over. Spirit saying either way, it's going to benefit you greatly. You being a Virgo, loving your alone time, your hermit energy, but at this point in the month, feeling the need to connect with those around you for a multitude of reasons. And you'll see the instant results, the instant benefit, rather, of connecting with these individuals. For whatever reason, though, there's part of you from recent events, it feels like it's hard for you to trust other people. It's hard for you to open up to others. And Spirit's saying, just as you were sort of putting your hands up and releasing that need to control and giving into being one with the process, if you will, try to do the same when you're connecting with others. It'll feel a bit off or a bit vulnerable at first, but it's worth it. You won't regret it. And I'm also being drawn to up here for some reason. I feel like a lot of you Virgos will start to see some orbs around this point in the month. For whatever reason, it doesn't feel connected to your work. It might be, but you should expect a heightened spiritual connection around this point in the month. Moving on to the Eight of Swords. You make your way to wrap up the first half of the month, and you feel restricted, you feel tied down, or you simply feel pushed to do a huge amount of reflecting. Why do I do what I do is what I'm hearing. And that's going to be a question that is going to lead you in a multitude of different directions. For some of you, you'll ask it over and over to see where it leads you. And I mean, take a moment and ask yourself that, and you can see that that will give you several different answers. This amount of reflecting that you're being pushed to do at this time is happening for a reason. You need to, for some of you, become more in touch with why you're doing what you're doing in order to enjoy the process more. You feeling more inclined, for whatever reason at this point, to bring back that level of control because you're not happy with some answers that you come up with or that come to be. And Spirit saying, absolutely not. Bring it back to the way you were in the beginning of the month once again and surrender that need to control. And realize that this reflecting is happening so you can improve as an individual, or so you can simply make certain changes and adjustments when it comes to your career, which of course inevitably down the line affects your finances. Some of you as well are reflecting on your spending habits at this point in the month, asking yourself, am I spending more than I'm making, or am I being unrealistic with some of my spending habits? So many questions need to be asked at this point in order to feel good about your choices or to simply make and implement certain changes along the way. Moving on to the second half of the month and spread, we have the Queen of Swords. I'm hearing don't question yourself. It feels like there are certain individuals that you're wrapped up with within your career or in general at this point in the month, or the month in general, where you feel like you could instantly start to question yourself and the efforts you've been putting forth. But Spirit in the universe is saying, absolutely not. You're a powerful individual, even if at times you're very calm, cool and collected, and a bit withdrawn from others around you. Your way of doing things is inspirational and contagious in a beautiful way. And to question yourself at this point is absolutely unacceptable. And anybody who starts to push you in that direction, you need to question whether they have a place in your life moving forward. And so you might find yourself entering this Queen of Swords mindset, continuing that kind of reflective state of mind, but in a completely different manner, more so based on those around you, asking yourself, who's going to benefit me at this point moving forward? And will your state of mind stay positive and optimistic with certain people remaining in your situation? It's also at this point in the month where you'll find that certain people that enter your life may not add a level of abundance that you expect. you feeling the need to question certain connections, not in a negative light, but just to keep things productive and healthy, to allow yourself to surround yourself with productive energies and be more aware of how they affect you personally. Realizing that all of which will affect your emotional, your mental state, which will make it easier or harder to produce the quality work that you need to at this time. If being aligned with the Queen of Cups, you're being reminded once again to release the need to control how things unravel, but at the same time finding a balance between that and making certain necessary changes and adjustments. Continuously reflecting, asking yourself questions once again in order to continue or to start to exceed expectations from those around you. Moving on to the Judgment card. I'm also hearing, as I'm drawn back to the imagery, pondering about all that's to come. You might find yourself thinking thoroughly, dreaming, drifting to the future because you intuitively know that you're destined to succeed in so many amazing ways. All right? So going back to the Judgment card, as you make your way to the middle of the second half of the month, there's a push from Spirit, from the universe, to release certain pent-up emotions and frustrations that you've been holding on to for a while. For a lot of you, your job stresses you out or leaves you in a very tense kind of situation. That was horribly put, but I'm trying to get to the point that for a lot of you, your job or your lack of which, or just your financial frustrations leave you feeling a bit tense. A reminder from Spirit and the universe that you're holding on to a lot of tension in weird ways. You know, your tongue to the roof of your mouth, or your shoulders being clenched, and to remember that you're a relaxed, calm, grounded individual naturally. And if something's affecting you in that manner, you need to question whether it still has a healthy place in your life, or simply to release all of which to feel 10 times better. Knowing that any pent-up emotions or tension that you've held on to at this point is not going to help you produce quality work. But now it's coming through as a grudge. So there's a few Virgos out there who are holding on to a grudge when it comes to your work environment, or maybe a past one. And if it's from a past work environment, you know that's not going to benefit you to hold on to it. So to release it now will benefit you enormously as you try to continue to exceed the expectations of those that are most important to you within your career situation. Being aligned with the Three of Cups. For some of you Virgos, you've had some really frustrating connections to deal with, whether it was in your work environment or outside of it. And so a lot of which that we were just speaking upon that you need to release might be tied to that. Your frustrations that have built up over time do not need to seep through into the work that you're producing. I need to once again release all of which to feel lighter, to feel healthier, to feel it's easier to connect with people in a new way as well. So we're moving on to the last and final card of the King of Cups. You finish off the second half of the month and the month in general, Virgo, and you're feeling calm. You're feeling more collected. You're feeling mentally more stable than you have throughout the month or just recently in general. And Spirit's saying between the important questions you've been asking, the release, all of these important steps in the right direction that we've been speaking upon, it's leaving you feeling 10 times better, right? Leaving you feeling like it's easier to be more like you. Some of those around you might look and be like, oh, well, there's Virgo. Did you leave for a while? Even though you obviously physically haven't. You bringing back a level of peaceful energy that's needed within your work environment. You're finding it easier towards the end of June to take a peaceful standpoint in your finances as well. A need to remember that this is the way you need to proceed rather than backtracking towards a stressful or pent-up kind of thought process. it's at the end of the month where as well you exceed certain people's expectations by being a calm, productive light, inspirational as well, by not by showing other people around you that you don't need to be a stress basket, you don't need to be overwhelmed and uh, yeah, again, overly stressed in order to achieve the goals that you desire at this time. Let this be a reminder to you and others around you that the way you do things is productive, but everyone has room for improvement, right? And on that note, being aligned with the Eight of Swords, you will continue to ask yourself important questions where you'll simply be thinking back to all the reflecting you've done, asking yourself important questions to finish off the month as well, to continue the reflecting. To a lot of you asking yourself, is the workload I have right now productive? Is the job environment I have now productive? Is it going to leave it 10 times harder for me to stay within this productive, calm energy? Or are there changes I need to make moving forward? Just because you are able to deal with it well and able to exceed expectations doesn't mean it's meant for you in the long run. Moving into the month of July, I feel like a lot of Virgos will have a better understanding of the steps they need to take in order to keep or begin to move in the right direction. All right? So, Virgo, I hope this reading was truly helpful. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I hope you have the most amazing month, and I'll see you next time. Bye.